Today, I want to touch on a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, for the last couple of months. And it is involving colorism, but from a little bit from a different angle. And I wanted to do this video because of what Matthew Knowles has said about his daughter. And because of what I hear so many black women online saying, that biracial women and light-skinned women are successful in the music industry just because of that, just because of their skin tone. That's why they're successful. And it is true that in the mid 2000s into present, a large percentage of the women who are being pushed in the entertainment business and the music industry, a lot of them are usually biracial women. So I'm not denying that, but I just want to make a point with this video. I want this is going to be a good conversation. And I'm sure some people who are overly sensitive might feel some type of way. Some people who accuse people of being colorists, who they are actually colorists their damn selves. You know, with what just happened with that Normani video is just amazing. But okay, anyway, a few months ago, Matthew Knowles again, the father of international pop star singer Beyonce, he made some pretty interesting statements and had people talking. Now, one of the things he said is that he kind of admitted that he thought that Beyonce's skin tone plays a role on why she is successful. Now, Beyonce isn't the lightest black woman that I've ever seen, or the lightest one in the music industry. But she's not a dark-skinned woman. And it's true that colorism does exist, that the darker you are, you can face some obstacles sometimes. But colorism goes both ways. Yes, it's true that there are people who have a hatred and are prejudiced towards people who have very dark skin, but there are also dark-skinned people that are prejudiced and have hatefulness towards people who are light-skinned. So it goes both ways. Now, there are a large percentage of people who believe, again, that being light-skinned and being biracial is why some women are successful currently in the music industry, and why Beyonce is successful. I used to hear that years ago, before Matthew even said what he said. So, I agree, but I also disagree. And I will make my point in this video, so keep watching. It takes more than skin color to sustain a long, successful career in the music industry. Singers come and go, but only a few hit legendary status. Only a few have longevity. So let me say this now, before the ignorant comments come. Number one, I am not a big Beyonce fan. Yes, I liked her in Destiny's Child. I liked a few of her solo songs that she came out with, but I do not like her current music at all for the last couple of years. I'm not a part of the Beehive. I'm not. And but I do like some of her songs, and I do know that Beyonce does have a powerful voice. I just wish she made a little bit better, more music as of recent. I'm aware, secondly, I'm aware that colorism exists. I repeat, I'm aware that colorism exists. Now, I'm also aware that, again, in the mid-2000s to present, there has been a push of biracial women over black women, largely coming from black men in the media and mainstream America, aka white America. They just followed along with what black men were pushing, you know? So, okay. One thing, though, that kind of irritates me is that I don't like how, yes, it's true that currently we see a lot more colorism. But why do we pretend that just a few years ago, there weren't black women of all shades in the media, including biracial women, who were all on TV being promoted? The biggest artists that hit legendary status in the music industry to this very day have been black women. They've been black women. Some might not have been the darkest, but they weren't super light. Now, Beyonce, again, started out in Destiny's Child. It was a group with various skin tones. And I think Beyonce was promoted the most, of course, not because of her skin tone, but because her manager is Matthew and Tina. And that's their daughter. So they looked out for her career. Not only that, she was the best damn singer out of all of them. But I did notice that they always put Beyonce in the cutest outfits And that kind of, I used to notice that when, when I would look at magazines and stuff like that, I used to wonder why she always got to have the best outfit on. But anyway, LaToya Luckett was beautiful, around the same skin tone as Beyonce. LaToya went solo. Her career didn't go anywhere. Kelly Rowland is beautiful. She had a little bit of small success. Her career really didn't go anywhere. Okay, Beyonce came out as a solo artist and became famous in 2003 when she came out with Crazy in Love with Jay-Z. But before Beyonce came out in 2003, there were other stars before her. Even when she was with Destiny's Child, there were black women who were dominating music while she was still in her group. Like Janet Jackson, Toni Braxton, Whitney Houston. Now, right before Beyonce came out, the big star was Aaliyah. Aaliyah was beautiful. She was a light brown skin. She wasn't super light. She had many hits. And she, in fact, was rumored to have been dating Jay-Z way before he even got with Beyonce. Now, Aaliyah was already a star. She was already a star, but she was about to become a global star, more of an international star, when she started getting into acting. Okay? Now, one of the reasons I also want to point out Beyonce has been successful is because of social media. There was not a YouTube when Aaliyah was out. There wasn't an Instagram when Aaliyah was out. If it had been, that she would have been even more major than what she already was. Now, Aaliyah died in 2001. 2001, Beyonce was in Destiny's Child still making music, but Aaliyah had her music out. 2001 is when she died. Beyonce went solo in 2003. Okay? So Beyonce has been dominating the music industry for a good close to 16 years? Now, again, back then when she first started out, there were people saying, oh, she's only popular because of her skin color. She's being hyped up or whatever. But before Beyonce, again, there were black women in the music industry and biracial who had better voices than her, had hit songs, but did not become international singers. Some of them are still making music. They're known, but they're not on the level of Beyonce. So now I want to point out something. Okay, again, Beyonce has been dominating for about 16 years in the music industry. Okay, so now let's take a look at some of the women in the music industry who were singers, who were light-skinned, just as light as Beyonce or lighter, biracial, or some just as mixed as Beyonce in their careers, did not get promoted by black women, by black men, by white people, or any other race of people. I mean, they did have some hits, but they didn't have the longevity. They did not become international like Beyonce. Okay, they might have had a hit or two. So the only point I am making with this video is that having the skin tone is not, and your racial makeup is not always enough to help you. It's not enough to make you successful. If that were the case, there would be way more stars bigger than Beyonce who look better, who were more mixed than her or more lighter than her, and they didn't make it. So let's sit back and let's just go through this list. It's not a huge list at all. Okay, so the first woman we have is Shantae Moore, legendary Shantae Moore. She is light-skinned, an African American, and a very beautiful woman. She came out around 1992. One of her big hits she had was called Shantae's Got a Man at Home. That was a really big hit for her. And she has some music she was still making, like the recent one she has is called I Got a Real One. That song is okay. She still looks beautiful. She still has talent and a great vocal range. Now, she was making music when Beyonce came out and after. Again, she is still making music. But despite the fact that she has light skin and she has a beautiful face and she actually has a great voice, that wasn't enough to make her a superstar and get the support, the continued support of black men and black women or any other race of person. The next woman, singer Tamia. Tamia is light-skinned, biracial. She has a black mother, a white father.
Now, she came out around 1998 and she was supposedly discovered by Quincy Jones. I remember her song, You Put a Move on My Heart, but her most legendary song is called So Into You. That's an R&B classic that I listen to all the time. And she continued to make music. One of her last great songs I like is called There's a Stranger in My House. She's an incredible live singer. She sounds just like the albums. Now, despite the fact that Tamia is biracial, she has light skin, she has a pretty face, that wasn't enough, again, to help her. She had the whole package, but it wasn't enough. The next woman, Maya, singer Maya. Now, Maya is light skinned and biracial. She came out around 1998. Her hit, one of her first hits was called Moving On, which is a song that I really, really love. And she had a lot of other songs, but she had The Best of Me. The Best of Me remix was a great song, and it featured Jay-Z, who she was rumored to have been dating him, but that's just a rumor, way before Beyonce. And one of her last great songs that I like, she has others, but I really like Case of the X. That's a really great song right there. So, despite the fact that Maya is light skinned, wavy hair, biracial, that wasn't enough to sustain her career. Her career has been struggling. Next woman, Christina Milian. She came out around 2001. She's a light brown skin. She is Cuban, mixed race, wavy hair, beautiful face. Not the strongest voice, but she had a few hits she did with Ja Rule. One of the most popular ones was Everything That I Do Is Between Me and You. And that was a huge hit for her that she was featured on, and she did not get any huge success. She didn't. And some people would think that, being Hispanic would have, it would have gave her a huge audience. The Latin community would have supported her as well as other races of people here in America, but it didn't. Her career didn't go hardly anywhere. The next woman, singer Khalees. Now, Khalees is a light brown skin, but sometimes she can be a little bit darker, but still brown skin, and she's multiracial. She's multiracial, which is why I'm putting her in here. She came out around 1999. Her big hit was called I Hate You So Much Right Now. I actually really, really like that song. And she had another hit. One of her last hits was called My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard. I know a lot of y'all remember that one. So, she had a uniqueness to her. She had a uniqueness to her sound. She was multiracial, wavy hair, and it did not help her. Didn't help her. Next woman, we all know, Alicia Keys. Now, Alicia Keys, she came out around 2001. Her big, massive hit was called Fallin'. Who doesn't remember Fallin'? That's a classic R&B song. And she became a superstar. But her superstardom is now over because she's married to Swiss Beats and they had a child together. The thing is that when she was messing with him, he was still legally married to Mashonda. Now, I don't know what was going on, if they were separated or whatever, but they were still legally married. Alicia Keys was labeled a homewrecker, and her career it has not been the same since. It's gone. Her career has fallen, and she was one of the most lusted after women by black men. She's light skinned, she's biracial, wavy hair. That wasn't enough to keep black men loving her or black women supporting her or any other race of people buying her music. Her career has not been the same since. She was not able to sustain a longevity like Beyonce and stay on top. She might release something, but her career is not the same. So now we have singer Ashanti. Now I know some people think, well, Ashanti is a light brown, and I'm featuring her on this because she was pretty popular, and her skin color was not a factor as to why she couldn't get success. She was pretty popular, and I'm also putting her on here because she is of mixed race ancestry. She has Dominican and Chinese ancestry. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, Dominicans are black. The average Dominican is mixed, and they look it, and so does Ashanti. I know some people are going to disagree. But Ashanti does identify as black, and yes, she is still black, but I'm just saying she does have mixed ancestry. People go on and on about Beyonce and this Creole heritage. So yeah, I'm featuring I'm featuring Ashanti too, okay, because she was pretty popular. Ashanti, her hit was Foolish. That was a really big song for her. A lot of us remember it. And it was a great song again. She became very popular. She was also writing songs. One of her other hits was called Baby. That was an okay song. But yeah, that was a hit for her. Now, despite the fact that Ashanti has an incredible body, her light brown skin tone, her natural wavy hair that she does have, and her looks just overall, it wasn't enough for her to stay on top. Her career has not been the same at all. Now, if she had been releasing music every year and working with the right producers, then yes, she probably could have been on Beyonce level. Okay, the next woman is Blue Cantrell. Now, Blue Cantrell is light skinned and biracial. She came out around 2003. Her biggest hit and her only hit was a song called Hit 'em Up Style. Now, she was also rumored to have been dating Jay-Z before he got with Beyonce. And despite the fact that she is biracial, pretty attractive, light skinned, wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. Only had one hit. Her career didn't go anywhere. She didn't get support or lusted after black men, black women, or any other race. Next singer, Anne Marie. Anne Marie came out around 2004, 2005, a year after Beyonce, and she is biracial. She's half Asian, and some people think that would give you a leg up. And one of her biggest hits was called It's This One Thing. It was a good song, and it was featured on some movies. It was a good hit for her, but that's like her only hit. So despite the fact that she is biracial and is half Asian and could have had support from the Asian community, the black community, the white community, everybody, it wasn't enough. It didn't help her. Her being half Asian and wavy hair and all that did not help her sustain her career. Next woman, Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole is light skinned, very talented, an incredible voice. She came out around 2005. One of her hits was called Love, that had Tyrese in it. And another song that I love of hers is called Sent from Heaven, Heaven Sent. Incredible, incredible songs. She has a lot of amazing songs. But despite the fact that she's talented and she's a light skinned woman, it was not enough for her career to become global. Not enough. Next woman, Keisha Shante. Keisha Shante came out around 2006. She's light skinned, she is a beautiful woman, and she is multiracial. Now, she is a Canadian singer, but she got big enough to where she was actually rumored she was going to supposedly play Aaliyah. That's who they wanted. She was one of the women that people wanted to play Aaliyah. And she was also, I think, hosting 106 in Park. Now, she was an up and coming singer. Well, she was popular in Canada. And even though there was a lot of buzz about her, her looks and her ethnicity being mixed wasn't enough to help her. It did not help her. Okay. Leona Lewis. Leona Lewis was supposedly gonna be the next Mariah. Now, y'all know how I feel about Mariah Carey, but some of you, there ain't gonna be a next Mariah. Now, Leona Lewis is biracial. She has green eyes, light skin, wavy hair, and she did have a massive hit called Bleeding Love. That song was huge. Now, she is from the UK, but that song was so huge it became big here in the United States, and everybody thought that she was going to be the next superstar. But no, her being biracial, having green eyes and light skin and wavy hair, that wasn't enough. All right, next, Jordan Sparks. Jordan Sparks, light skinned, biracial, came out around 2007. Didn't have a lot of hits. One of her biggest songs was with Chris Brown called No Air. It's a really, really good song. I have it saved. I love that song. Now she was plus size, not huge or anything, but she did lose the weight. She lost the weight more than likely to help her career. Now, despite the fact that she's beautiful, she's biracial, she's light skinned, and she lost that weight, still didn't help her. Wasn't enough. Next, singer Sabine. She is light skinned, she is biracial, and she came out around 2012. And she's a beautiful woman. In fact, some people wanted her to play Aaliyah. They said they saw a little bit of a resemblance. And her hit song was called Where They Do That At. It's a really good song. And she got a little bit popular off of it, but not really. So her being biracial and being beautiful with her wavy hair and all those, all the stuff people think is going to help. No, it didn't. It didn't help her. Her career flopped. All right, the next one. Now, this is legendary to me. I was actually going to do a whole separate video about Miss Carrie Hilson. Carrie Hilson is light brown skin, and she has green eyes and a beautiful face. I personally think she is one of the most beautiful Black women in the whole damn world. Beautiful. Now, she started out as a songwriter, but decided to get into music. She released some songs such as Energy, which is a really great song. And one of her other most popular songs was called Pretty Girl Rock, where she paid homage to legendary Black female singers. Now, it's true that Carrie Hilson does not have the strongest singing voice, but she has the writing talent and she's able to produce a hit. I believe that the Beehive helped destroy Carrie Hilson's career. Now, Carrie Hilson said recently that she just took a break from music. No one helped destroy her career. But I remember how she did kind of hint that she was something with competition with Beyonce, and then all Beyonce's fans attacked her, and then she supposedly was blackballed in the music industry or whatever, people that knew Beyonce. I'm not 100% sure if it's true, but I know that her career suffered, and I really, really, really hate how she was done, because I think she was an amazing talent. I believe she was a threat because she is extremely attractive. And but despite the fact that she has a beautiful face and she has light eyes and everything like that, it wasn't enough to keep her a star. Her career has not been the same in a long time behind that whole Beyonce thing. And she didn't get support by Black men or Black women or other races of people, despite being beautiful with light eyes and everything like that. All right, so the next woman is a singer called Ellie Varner. Now, Ellie Varner, she came out around 2012. She is light-skinned, she is biracial or multiracial, and she was an up-and-coming singer, okay? She had a few videos out. One of her most best songs to me is a song called Rover featuring Wale. It's a really great song, and she had a lot of buzz around her. But she didn't get the support of the Black men or Black women or any other race of people, despite being biracial and light-skinned. Didn't help her. Next person, and the last woman, singer Tinashe. Tinashe is a great talent. She is light-skinned, she is biracial, and she is a very beautiful woman. Now, she had around 2 hits. One of them was called 2 on 1, but the one I like a lot is called Player. It is featuring Chris Brown. To me, that song should have been the song that should have made her a superstar. It's not, she doesn't have a strong vocal range, but it was a good song, and she had a lot of buzz around her. Now, Tinashe did say that she thought that her career wasn't being supported by the Black community because she is biracial. So I'll get into that later. But all I can say is that despite the fact that Tinashe is biracial and a beautiful woman and was promoted, it wasn't enough to get her a fan base of Black men and Black women supporting her and making her a global superstar like Beyonce. It didn't happen for her. So Y'all have seen some of the women. Yes, these women had hits, some of them. Some of them are still singing, and some of them have the talent. To me, again, Tamia should have been that one. Tamia is incredible. Incredible. I mean, the woman sounds just like her album. Shantae Moore, incredible. Incredible. So I'm not saying some of these women can't make a comeback or that they can't still possibly have global superstardom. I'm talking about outside of this country. I'm talking about international, like Beyonce. And I'm sure some of them have fans that's not just in America, but Beyonce is like the female Michael Jackson of this generation. And even though I don't even like all her damn music, I'm not going to deny that. So there might be a few women I missed on this list. If you know any, you can leave that in the comment section. But yes, again, all that I'm showing is that it is true that colorism exists. And perhaps the fact that some of them are light skinned or biracial or mixed descent, I'm sure it could have, of course, it could have helped them get signed. Of course. But there are Black women also being signed as well. But again, the large promotion that we're seeing are women, a lot of them, not even necessarily light-skinned African American women. I'm talking about, by having a parent that's white or a completely different race. But my thing is that even though they got signed, their looks, their talent, and their ethnicity and their racial makeup, it just wasn't enough to keep them stars and become a global sensation like Beyonce. Again, only a very few make it to legendary status and being a global international star. And all the ones who were singing R&B and a little bit of pop who made it to this day have been Black women. And hell, if we're going to even talk about being biracial, I have not even seen a biracial woman get on the level of Mariah Carey. There has not been a Mariah Carey since Mariah Carey. There ain't been one. Now, maybe they searching for it in the industry. They're not going to find it no time soon, okay? Mariah is in a lane all her own, and they haven't found it. And maybe they're looking for this great next biracial megastar. And I'm not saying some of these women don't have it in them to become that, but I'm just saying that it's not always enough. It can help a little bit. I'm sure it probably can help a little bit as far as being able, especially to appeal to Black men. Because let's face it, a lot of these women are R&B and they market them towards Black men. The men in their videos are always Black, and they're getting the Black man fan base or whatever, just based on looks. But as far as being able to become a star and sell those records and have a platinum album or triple platinum or whatever, that's not happening these days for most of these women. It's not. And they're not becoming global sensations. I believe Beyonce is one of the last damn superstars that there has been. You have social media now that they're using to become famous. Beyonce worked her way up. She started out in the group. She did talent shows. She has a story. I mean, they can even make a movie on Beyonce's life. And not saying they can't do that for some of the other women, but y'all get what I'm saying. So, being light-skinned wasn't enough. Having looser hair wasn't enough. Having light eyes wasn't enough. Having a parent of another race wasn't enough. Having mixed ancestry wasn't enough. Having mixed looking features wasn't enough. Did it possibly help a little bit? I'm sure it probably did a little bit. But did it sustain them? No, it didn't. So here's why Beyonce is on top. Number one, she's a pop singer. I know some of the women I showed are singing R&B. To become a global international star, yeah, you probably have to do pop music. Now, some of these women, if they had sung pop music, I'm sure they would possibly have become mega stars like Beyonce because they have the voice. Some of them have the voice. They have the talent. They have the work. They have the package. Some of them do. Now, hard work. Now, I'm not saying those women don't work hard. You have to work hard to even get known in the industry. There are literally millions of people that are singers trying to make it. So the fact that you can even get a number one hit, you have to have worked hard for that to happen. So yes, they work hard, but Beyonce is known for her work ethic. Beyonce is known to release an album usually every damn year, at least twice a year, at least back in the day. She works nonstop. A lot of these artists will release something and they won't put out music for another 5 years. If you're trying to be big, you have to keep releasing music to get the fan base up, and that's what Beyonce kept doing. That's why she was on top. Also, the help of social media. Okay, team. Team. You got to have a good team behind you. Beyonce has a really great marketing team. That is why she is also on top. Now, she had the money to get a good team. She had it. Now, some of these other women, they had a team, but their team wasn't as strong as Beyonce. Talent. Now, I'm not saying those women aren't talented, but Beyonce did have the talent. That's why she stood out in the group, because she had truth is she had the best voice, but she also had the drive and the work ethic. I've seen older interviews where you could see it in her. Now, again, I said I don't like a lot of her current music, but I'm not going to deny her talent. I'm not going to do that. Okay, she does have a great voice. I just wish she actually would sing better songs. Was skin color a factor into Beyonce's success? It could have been a little bit, but I think her talent was more of why she became as big, in her work ethic, in her songs. But the truth is that I'm not denying that we don't have colorism around the globe. There are some people that might see an album where the woman is, let's say she's dark skinned. She might sing her butt off and the album might be incredible, and somebody might not even listen to the album because they just look at the cover and they don't want to listen to it because, she's dark skinned or whatever. Because this is psychological. This is a psychological issue. Colorism, this is a psychological issue. It's a mental problem, you know. But anyway, there were other women lighter than Beyonce and just a light, and they still didn't become huge. They still didn't. And I don't think it's the sole factor as to why Beyonce is successful. Look at Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell is the top black model ahead of black women of all skin tones and biracial models. No one is touching Naomi. Naomi is worldwide, global, and she's known for her beauty. She's one of the most beautiful black women in history. No one can take that from her, and she worked her butt off, and she is successful. There have been other black women who are extremely successful and known for their beauty who were not super light. And I think people need to, I'm not saying we're going to ignore the colorism that has been going on for the past decade, but let's not also, just forget the beautiful women that were represented. And I understand that, we don't just want 2020 and beyond to only be women that we see look one way. See, when I was younger, I want to see black women of all skin shades, skin tones represented, because that is the reality of who black people are in this country. We don't all look the same. We do not all share the same skin color. We do not all share the same damn hair texture. That's another thing with people with this shame and about weaves. Some of the black women wearing weaves already have hair that is just as straight almost as the damn weave. We are a diverse group in this country of different ethnicities, different racial backgrounds and heritages. But a lot of us still share the slave ancestry, like Beyonce. And I think we need to see a true representation of black women and the variety that we have, and not just one look or type of look constantly pushed. So I agree with that. When I talked about there's room for Normani, yes, there is. But there's room for the biracial women. There's room for the black women. There's room for the black women of dark skin. There's room for the black women of light skin. There's room for the black women of brown skin. There's room for the multiracial. There's room for the plus size. There's room for the skinny, the curvy. I want to see variety. I'm not into that just, we got to have, it got to be like this. Forget all those light-skinned biracial women. I'm not going to ever say that, especially having a light-skinned mama. I want to see diversity. That's what I want to see, because that is the true face of the black people in America. And when I was a little girl, I grew up seeing it, which is why I guess my views are a little different, because I grew up seeing the variety, but I also have seen the change in the past decade of what's going on in entertainment, in the entertainment business. And I'm not against Black women taking a stand, wanting to say we just want to see more women that look like us, but we all look different. Keep that in mind. So yes, support the Black women of all skin shades is what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to take anything away from colorism or anybody's obstacles or their struggle or their truth of what they go through. And you know, again, all I'm showing with this video is that despite the fact that these women have what people think would help them or put them above people as far as in the music and the entertainment industry in a global colorist world, it didn't help them enough. It didn't. Yes, we know who they are. We know who they are, and that in itself tells that they were promoted enough that we know their name. But it wasn't enough to make them a superstar like Beyonce. So that's all I want to say for this video. And I cannot wait to hear your comments below of what you thought about this video. Do you agree or you disagree? And, who did I miss out on this list or whatever? And I just hope that it opens your eyes a little bit to see that it's not always going to help you being light-skinned and being biracial and everything like that. It doesn't always help you. If it did, some of these women, I'm sure would have been bigger than what they are, and they're not. And Beyonce isn't the first light-skinned Black woman of America, to make it big. And there are a number who are lighter than her and more talented than her, and they're not on her level. So it's a little bit more than that. So that's all I have to say. Again, I cannot wait to hear your comments. Leave them below, and please keep it respectful. Also, like, share, and subscribe. Peace, everybody.